5 tips for next level chord progressions. Start with a basic progression of triads. In this example we will use the chord progression 1-5-7-4, where each number refers to the scale degree of the root note for each chord. Let's choose the key of C minor for our progression. So our chords are C minor, G minor, B flat major and F minor. Tip number 1. Try substituting chords for their relatives or borrowing chords from the parallel major. In this case, we will borrow the F major chord from the parallel key of C major, which will give the chord progression a Dorian sound. It will still sound sad, but it will also sound hopeful.
The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
Tip number 2. Let's spread the voices by jumping the middle voice of each chord up an octave. This makes things feel more open. Tip number 3. Let's double the root and fifth of each chord, and lower them by 1 octave. This gives the chords a nice strength on the bottom. Tip number 4. Try adding some coloration tones like sevenths, ninths or suspensions. For our chord progression, let's make the first chord a C minor 7 by adding a B flat. Let's also make the second chord a G minor 7 by adding an F. Let's double the fifth of the B flat major chord by adding an F in the bass. Let's add another A to the last chord to emphasize the borrowed note and reinforce that hopeful ending. Tip number 5. Let's make sure that the outer voices are contrapuntally interesting by checking their lines. We want to avoid similar motion and use contrary or oblique motion instead. Contrary motion is when the voices move in opposite directions. Oblique motion is when one voice moves while the other voice is stationary. Right now we have oblique motion, contrary motion, oblique motion, and contrary motion. Not bad. But the top line is pretty boring. Let's make it more interesting by lowering B flat in the second chord by an octave and let F be the top voice. Now we have contrary motion, oblique motion, and contrary motion. Not bad either. Let's play the final result again, this time with a bass and some reverb on the piano.